And if we want to be someone better, if we want to do and produce better, if we want to go to that next level, if we want to reach that goal, that objective, that victory, that success that we say we really, really want, then we have to make those tough decisions. You know, we've been sold the idea that ease equals success. We're going to be talking today about convenience and comfort as weaknesses. See, a lot of us have been challenged not to grow because we have chosen comfort over growth. And if we want to be someone better, if we want to do and produce better, if we want to go to that next level, if we want to reach that goal, that objective, that victory, that success that we say we really, really want, then we have to make those tough decisions. And some of those tough decisions is that I'm going to grow instead of relying on comfort. Now, I do believe convenience and comfort have places in our lives. You need to rest. Everything doesn't have to be so hard and so difficult to achieve or to produce. So we're going to have to face it. We have a choice whether or not to face that issue and determine whether or not we're going to fall victim to it, remain a victim to it, or decide to achieve success. So let's go ahead and get on with this. Now, there's a lie in the culture about comfort. We've been sold, again, I'm going to say this, we've been sold the idea that ease equals success. Now, I do believe there are times when things need to be easy. I do believe that we don't have to always do things the hard, long, rigorous way. But then there are times where a shortcut can be one of the most dangerous paths to success that any of us take. We could either kill our destiny or kill future opportunities, or we can embrace them and go on the path that was actually designed for us to take. But whenever you start looking for shortcuts, you're basically saying, I want the easy path. And the easy path is not always the best path. Society idolizes comfort and labels discomfort as bad. And a good example of it is this. Y'all remember over the last previous 4 years during the COVID era, I'm going to call it the pandemic, how the government had begun paying people to stay home from work in the name of health, in the name of security, right? Now, fast forward 2025. This is July of 2025. I have friends of mine who own businesses, and I know some other business owners who are having issues with keeping staff and hiring staff because there's a number of people who were spoiled. The spoils of comfort, how society introduced the idea of laziness, working from the comfort of your own home, without a plan B to return back. Okay, I call it plan B, but it may be plan A. Without a plan to return people back into the workforce outside of the comforts of their home. And what happened? Some people will start working the job and then quit so they can claim unemployment. And that leaves a lot of open spots and positions, and it ended up costing a lot of businesses their existence. In other words, a lot of businesses organizations go out of business simply because they can't afford to even keep people on. Not because they can't afford people, but because people don't want to work. And that affects the workforce. That affects jobs. That affects the economy. So where's the government? Where did the government get all their money? From the people who worked. They also created it out of thin air, largely, and incentivized people. No, stay home. You don't need to go out outside of the comforts and the convenience of your home. Stay home. We'll pay you. They forced employers to pay, but they also paid employees. They paid citizens to stay home. And that has had a devastating effect on businesses, organizations, and our economy. And so now we're trying to jumpstart the economy. But you have a lot of, especially this new generation. Do you really think people who are accustomed to getting up and going to work from one bedroom to the other in their pajamas, want to go back outside to come to their home. They get to save gas. They get to eat what they want to eat. In some cases, if they have no customer facing position, they can do everything behind the cameras and be and basically be lazy. And again, I'm not saying they didn't have its place at the time. I'm saying it has had dramatic because there was no true strategy put in place to combat that and to reintroduce people back into the workforce outside of their home. That has had devastating impact. So the question is are you that kind of person who have been spoiled, inconvenience, and comforts to stay in whatever situation you're in? Maybe it's not the job situation. Maybe you wanted to get outside the home. You wanted to go back to work. You wanted to see some of your friends, or you simply just wanted to get out of your house because you got tired of looking at the four corners of your walls, whatever that may be. But you still want to do be successful in certain ways with the aid of unnecessary comfort and convenience. And again, I'm saying those words intentionally. I'm repeating those words intentionally so you can really get the point. Let those words stick out. Those are good words in their right place. Those are good experiences in their right place. But if you want to be a successful husband, a successful person, wife, parent, business person, employee, etc., this goes across the line. There are tough moments in our relationships that we have. There are tough conversations we have to have at times. Are you willing to do that? At the right time, the right place, with the right person. Are you willing to do that? So we have to check that out. That's not something I trust society to change. Society has told me I can't trust it. So that's a personal decision. Now, most of us, myself included, had suffered from the microwave mentality. I wanted things like this. I wanted it so quick and I wanted it so fast. I wanted it my way. And I believe that negatively impacted me psychologically, again, more than I realized over the years. I was a hard worker. I can make things happen. I can get things done. But I did it more for people that I love. I did it more for the jobs that I worked. But I didn't work as hard for me. Like what I'm doing right now. And again, I'm not saying this out of regret. I have learned some valuable lessons that's going to help me create a bright future. And part of that is helping you create a bright future. But had I started this channel maybe in 2017, 2018, I probably could have been doing some more better things, made greater impacts by now. You know what I mean? So this is one of the things because people need encouragement. People need inspiration at times, and I have been gifted with that. That's one of the skill sets, the tools that I have in my life, and I thank God, a talent I have. But since I know what it's like back then, and I did also try the easy path, also. Now I know that there's toughness, there's tough situations I need to be placed within so that I can grow as a person. You have to have a tough mindset, and you have to have tough skin. Everybody ain't gonna like you. Everybody don't care about you, and they certainly don't care about your feelings. So some people get excited about hurting your feelings. So those are on many of our paths. Those are experiences that we must have if we're gonna get to the next level. In some cases, we have an idea of what that look like. And for those who believe in divine providence, like myself, you're gonna need that experience or experiences in order for you to get to that next level and for you to remain at that level. So the choice is yours. But we must give up this microwave mentality and understand that greatness does not grow in the beds of comfort. It just does not. At least not alone. Keep this quote in mind. Keep this thought in mind. Everything you want is on the other side of inconvenience. The more convenient you are, or the more convenient you want things to be, the less likely it is you're going to receive the best things that are waiting for you on the other side. Let's keep that in mind. This is the second thing I want you to keep in mind. Here's the second point I want to make. Why convenience breeds weakness. Convenience removes the need for perseverance. I don't always feel like getting up to go to work or getting up to go exercise, and at times I don't. To exercise, that is. I get up to go to work, but exercise-wise. But at times when you don't feel like it, that's when you need to dig deep and force yourself. No, Darius, you're going to get up and you're going to get that work out today. You're going to feel better after it. On the other side of the workout, you're going to feel better. But if you disregard doing it, if you don't do it today, and you don't have a viable reason, a good reason not to do it, now you have set yourself back. So now you got to make up for that. So now, get up, Darius. Let's go. Hold yourself accountable. Darius, you were being lazy. Darius, this is not good. Darius, you set this goal. You said this is why you are doing this exercise or reading this book or disciplining yourself for whatever it is. It's time. If you want to be better, if you want to have better, if you want to go to better places, the choice is yours. Let convenience have its place, but it shouldn't be all the time. Let comfort have its place, but it should not be all the time. Just like we don't want it to be rough all the time. And it's not. Unless you choose a rough path all the time. But no. Convenience removes the need for perseverance, which is a characteristic trait that helps you become stronger inside and out. Comfort removes the urgency of obedience. Oh man, that's strong right there. Comfort removes the urgency of obedience. If you don't start obeying immediately, you're going to lose the urgency. You're going to lose the focus. You're going to lose the opportunity, which is not obligated to come back around to you. So if you want to be better, do better, have better, produce better. You know, my system, I have a coaching system I created called FTRIA. The FTRIA system, follow the right instructions always. What does that mean? Does that mean you're going to perfectly do the right thing, follow the right instructions, the right information every single time? Nope. But we're going to focus on following as many instructions as possible. So I don't tell you to follow as many as you can. I say follow the right instructions always. So if you focus on always, it's kind of like that adage. I said this in one of my other videos. It's like that adage where if you aim at the moon, I believe it is, you'll hit the stars. Or if you aim at the stars, I think it's if you aim at the moon, you'll hit the stars. In either case, you're hitting at a much higher plane than you are right now, than where you began. Comfort removes the urgency of obedience. If you start following right instructions immediately, focus on do what you're being told. That alarm clock you be hitting. You reject, you don't obey immediately. You give yourself another 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. As you continue to practice disobeying that order that you set, it's going to get easier and easier to disobey. Then sooner or later, you're going to complain about the results that you're not getting. You watch. If you've already experienced it, today is a good day to change that. If you're on your way to experiencing that, today is a good day to decide not to go there. Because at some point in time, you're going to get frustrated if you're not doing the right things. I'm trying to help you minimize that. You're going to probably have some moments because it's human nature. We fail, we make bad decisions. So at times you're going to do that. But I hope this message finds you at a moment either before, during, or probably right after, whatever stage of your life. As I said, wherever you are at this stage in your life, by the time you watch this video, I hope it helps bring you out of something negative into something positive. That's my goal. Why does convenience breed weakness? You stop fighting. That's what we do. I noticed certain areas in my life, I stopped fighting. I stopped fighting for the dreams. You see these on the back of my wall behind me? These are magazine cutouts, so I know it kind of looks a little ragged, a little rough, so to speak, but I put those up there intentionally. I've had a lot of these for years. And I didn't make them come to pass. I didn't put myself in position for some of the very same reasons, some of the very same points I'm sharing with you. You stop fighting, you stop growing, and you stop transforming. And you become less than who you really are. I don't know about you, but I don't want to become less than I'm supposed to be. I don't want to be less than what I'm supposed to be. I don't want to do less than I'm supposed to do. You understand? If that's where you are, if you're at that moment of frustration, if you're upset and angry that things haven't panned out, and you're mostly mad at yourself, in some cases you probably can share that blame or pass that blame off on somebody else. Forgive yourself, forgive others, and begin right now. Set a goal, set a objective. Hey, I'm finna make this right. I'm finna get started. No more excuses. Then you can start transforming. Then you can start growing because you started fighting again. That's up to you. The best motivational speakers in the world, the best motivational quotes that you'll ever read aren't going to make you do anything. You have to realize that. They may spark something in you, but you still have to make that decision, and you have to maintain or enforce that decision. So keep this in mind. Muscles don't grow without any resistance. Have y'all noticed that? Saying you're going to the gym doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go to the gym to work out. You understand? It's like saying, going to a restaurant doesn't necessarily mean you're going to sit down and eat. What's your purpose? State your purpose. Even if you don't state it to anybody else, state it to yourself. I'm going to the gym to work out, to build up my muscles, to improve my health, to get in better shape. That's what the gym is for. So whatever you do, whatever you're going, there has to be a reason why. As my dad says, you find out what is your reason why. Your why will determine what you do. Then you can set up a time for when and how you do. But you need to know what your why is so that you can get to your what. Get to the what. Here's the third point I want to make. From weakness to warrior. It's time for us to stop being weak. It has nothing to do with your sex or your gender. And don't let your past be a crutch. God never promised us comfort. He promised us power. You have the power to be, to do, and to have what you want. You really do. For better or for worse. Now, I encourage you to go for what's better, what's best. It's your choice whether you decide to go worse. That's entirely up to you. Real strength comes from enduring, not escaping. There are times when you need to assess a situation. For example, if you got 10 guys coming at you or 10 ladies coming at you in a threatening sense, if you're not in an advantageous position or you don't have the skill set to contend with that level of threat, then it's the wise thing to do is to escape. Find a way of escape. But there are certain times in your life when you're facing certain decisions, be it relational, be it your career opportunities, when you want to have you decide you want to have a family and grow a family. Those are tough decisions, but they require you being made. If you say it's deep down inside your heart, it's something you want to be, to do, and have, then it's time to make that decision to be, to do, and to have. So real strength. And then what happens in those situations is you're going to be stretched. The question is, will you endure the stretching and get to the other side of that level of growth at that particular stage or point in your life? Or will you quit? Will you quit by escaping, running away from it? Because that is easy. That is the comforting. That brings you comfort. It's convenient for you. What we have to have is a mindset shift, or a shift in our mindset. So embrace difficulty as your training ground for purpose. Our military, they train through rough terrain, through tough physicality, to become stronger mentally as well as physical. I think all of life is mostly mental. All of it. You know, the Bible says in Proverbs 23, verse 7, as a man thinks, and that means a woman also, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So most of our life is always based on the decisions we make and experiences we have or do not have, largely are based on our mindset. So if you're tough mentally, if physically, you can get it together. Financially, you can get it together. Relationally, where possible, you can get it together. I'm talking about your part. I'm not talking about everybody else's part. I'm talking about yours. Shift your mindset. Embrace difficulty. Let it be training ground to help make you stronger, bigger, better. It's not meant to break you down. It's not meant to destroy you. Your enemies want to destroy you. But the life that you were designed for and the path that was designed for you, that's not to destroy you. That's to make you, to become the best person you're supposed to be at whatever point, stage in your life that you get to. That's all that's about. Embrace that. If it is to be, It's up to me. That's an old saying. I ain't said that in years, but it still rings true. If it is to be, whatever it is in life, success or failure, if it is to be, it's up to me. If I want to be strong, if it is to be, it's up to me. If I want to be weak, if it is to be, it's up to me. It's not up to God. It's not up to your parents or your spouse or the past or the vehicle, whatever it is you shift the blame on. It's not up to any of those. It's up to me. So let me leave you with this challenge. What areas of your life what areas of your life have become too easy? Sit down and think about that and address those things and come up with a plan or a strategy. Maybe give it someone you trust, a mentor, a parent, a guardian, somebody who can help you clearly identify those who are close to you, who love you, but are honest and will be direct with you. Where have you stopped choosing discipline over desire? We all have moments in that. We can all identify some area where we say, I need to become strong in that area. For Christians, I would say it's not just something you pray about. You have to also be about it. God's part, in my opinion, in my view, God's part is always taken care of. It's our part that we have to make the decision. We have to make the commitment to enforce our decision to change and to become better and best. And the reason let me say this real quick, because y'all may hear me say that on some of my videos. I know everybody doesn't believe in God like I do. Everybody doesn't serve Jesus Christ. So my message is to all the audience. And it's for those who will receive it. But I do know there's various audiences who believe the way I do. And there's a number of people who don't. So that's why I say it that way. It's not to say one side is better than the other, or divide and conquer type thing. It's nothing like that. So I hope nobody thinks that. But the success principles I've learned come from the Bible. And even a lot of the success gurus that I've listened to over the years, whether they admit it or not, and maybe some of them don't know it, but a lot of these success principles they teach come from the Bible. It's just worded differently, but it comes from the Bible. So that's why I get my success from. As y'all notice, I'm not preaching at anybody or preaching to anybody, but my conviction is I believe God's principles work across the board, period. So, lastly, where can you start saying no to comfort and yes to your calling? Those are some questions we must ask ourselves. There's certain relationships, there's certain opportunities that we need to say no to because they're not a part of our calling. Not every opportunity, every good opportunity is for you. Not every good looking man or woman or every good business opportunity or even career opportunity is for you because it does not align with your calling. So you have two choices here. You can choose your calling or you can choose your comfort. The decision is up to you. Thank y'all for joining me today. I look forward to seeing y'all next Monday. And remember, maximize the moment.